So your collection's ready, your privacy settings are correct. Let's talk about how to share your collection with others. At the very top of your Wakelet collection, you will see a share button. The share button is a way that you can share your collection with others. The sharing is for viewing. You'll notice there are so many options. You can create a QR code so that someone can scan it and go directly to your collection. There's a Google Classroom share, Microsoft Teams, you can tweet it. There are lots of different ways to share, whether you use Remind or other social media tools. There's also a way that you can copy a link and share that link if you wanted to share it via email or another method. This is also helpful if you're wanting to put your collection within another collection, is to use the URL to do so. Also, you have a way to export it as a PDF so that if you have someone who needs it in a PDF format for offline viewing, you'll have that ability to view. There's also a way to embed it in another website. So if you use a website tool that allows for embedding of other code, you can use the embed code to embed your Wakelet collection into another website. These are all ways to share your collection for viewing by others. Now let's talk about a different type of sharing. What if you wanted to be able for others to not only view your collection, but also to collaborate in your collection? At the top left, you'll see the Invite button. When I click on this button, I have some options: invite contributors or manage contributors. Well, first of all, I want to invite some contributors. Now, in this particular collection, I created my collection as a resource for students. So in this particular example, I may not want my students to add resources to it. But let's imagine I've put a header all about reptiles, and I want them to share resources they find about reptiles to this collection. In that manner, I would like to invite them to be contributors, not just to look at it. Here is the easiest way to invite someone, is the copy link. You'll notice it has a code at the very end that matches this code. If I copy this link and share this link with my students, when they click on it, they will be able to actually add to my collection. I want to show you what this looks like. So I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to open up an incognito window. So here is an incognito window, and I'm going to pretend I'm a student and I'm pasting in that link with the code that my teacher provided me. You'll notice when I get that, I get a box to add my name. So I'm going to talk to my students about the appropriateness of putting their first and last names. So I'm going to say my name is Sally Sunshine, and I'm going to be adding some things to my teacher's collection. So I'm going to click Add. And what you'll notice is as soon as that happens, you'll see the same collection that my teacher sees. And it'll give me some hints to get started. So right now I'm just looking at it. But if I want to add to it, I will click Edit Collection. And now I have the ability to add things to my teacher's collection. So I can go up here and add a resource. So I have this website and I would like to share it to my teacher's collection. So I'm going to click on the plus sign just like my teacher did when she created it, and I'm going to paste in the URL. And it says it was added by me today, and I also get the pencil. Now when I do this with students, I give them specific expectations about what I want them to put into the link. I don't want them to just add a link. In this case, I want them to explain what they learned from that site and why they're adding it to my collection. So I would have the students click the pencil and make some changes to explain why they're adding this site. Okay, so as a student, I explained why I added this, and I'm going to click Done. Now, when I've added my link, I'm going to click Done again. So you'll notice it shows that I added that. Now, you'll also notice if I click Edit as a student, when I go back to something, I can delete what I have made, but I cannot delete things that my teacher has done. I'm only able to delete things that I have done. So now I'm going to minimize that so we can go back to the teacher view. So I'm going to come here and refresh the Wakelet collection from the teacher's perspective. And now what I can see is that Sally Sunshine added this, and it gives me the ability to read what that student has said about an item in the collection. So this is a great way, using this invite tool, to be able to share with students. Now what you'll notice is I gave them the copy link, and they used that copy link to enter their name and add to my collection. There's also just a code. There's also a QR code. Now, if at any time you needed to change that link and code, you do have a button to generate a new link and code. So if I go to Manage Contributors now, you'll see I'm the only one here. Now, there is a way that you can invite people by name or email. You can simply type in their email address and invite them that way. To use this method, the person would need to have a Wakelet account. But this is the method via shareable link or code that you can invite your students and they don't have to have a Wakelet account. So this helps them to be able to add to your collection in a super easy way. So that's inviting contributors by copy link, code, or email. Now there is a third component that really has to do with sharing and allowing people to edit a copy of your collection, not your actual collection, and that's called the copy function. And to get to the copy function, you go into Edit Collection, you go over to the left where you see the gear, and you'll see Copy Collection. Here's what that does. Let's say I made this great collection on reptiles as a way to present content to my students, and I'm super proud of it, and I know it might be valuable for other teachers. If you have this toggled on, other users who have Wakelet accounts can create a copy of your collection and then edit it and tweak it and make it their own. It always maintains the owner's name in the copy, so you do get credit for being the creator of the collection. I'm going to turn this on so that you can see how this works. Also, while we're here, I do want you to notice that there is a place that if you wanted collaborators to be able to delete all items in the collection and edit your items, you can toggle this on. It is off by default, and I usually leave mine off unless I have another staff member who I've invited by email with a Wakelet account and we're creating a collection together. So this is something that you can change per collection. I'm going to turn on that copy collection code, however, and go ahead and close this and click Done. And I want you to see what this looks like now. At the very top, you see a copy button that was not there before. So if someone comes to my collection and has a Wakelet account, they can click Copy. They can name their collection. So when they click Copy, I want you to see what happens. I'm going to go back to my Wakelet collections, and I see that I now have a copy of All About Reptiles. And notice it says copied from. So it does keep not only the copied from who created it, but it also gives links to the original. And if it's in a space, which we'll talk about later, it also gets a link to the space or the profile associated with that. So we've talked about several things. We have talked about, here's the original collection I was working with. We've talked about using the share button to invite others to view your collection. We've talked about the invite button to add others to collaborate on a collection. And we've also talked about the power of the copy button. So now you've got your collection created, you have your privacy settings set, and you've also either invited contributors or shared it with others to view. So you may think you're done. There's even more to learn. So stick with me and we'll head on to our next topic.